Hey guys, I'm Tyler, this is T.A.G Gaming, and we are back with preseason week 3 of our Bears franchise mode. We're going to go up against the 49ers this week. This week is going to be our determining week. We're going to determine who our quarterback is for the future, who our wide receivers are, who our running backs are going to be, and really look at our offense. Our defense is kind of set where it's at for right now. We'll address a few things in the draft, but I really like our defense. I think it's a good defense, so I'm not too worried about it. It's the offense that really just hasn't kept up. And as you can see, one of the things that we are struggling with on defense is covering tight ends. We haven't had a good season. We went up against really good tight ends all preseason, but we haven't done a really good job of covering tight ends. So that might be something that I have to change. Maybe when I'm playing a little bit, I can go in there and use our linebacker that's playing man-to-man and try to cover him a little bit better, or switch to more of a zone look. But I mean, right there, he's wide open. Touchdown, easy to start the game. We've got to do something to shut down these tight ends. Obviously, we've played really good tight ends. George Kittle is a monster. So, that plays into it a lot. But honestly, we can do better as a team of shutting that down. So, one of the things I will say this preseason, David Montgomery. I really like him in real life. I really do. I'm not a Bears fan, but on the Bears, there's really only two guys that I really like, and one's David Montgomery and one's Allen Robinson. So that's tough for me. I don't want to take him out as a starter, especially when he gets runs like this, but he's so inconsistent, and he's not the type of running back I want to use for this team. Yeah, he's a mix. He is an elusive back mixed with a receiving back and stuff like that, but I need more speed. So I think I'm going to make a change up with the personnel that we have, and David Montgomery might end up shifting down to be our RB2. Nothing against him. Like I said, he's a great running back. It's just he's not the running back I want. I kind of feel like I'm speaking as the Bears franchise in real life here, because it's like they want to use David Montgomery, but if they had a different choice, I really feel like they would take it. And we have a guy on our roster that is primed to be a running back, and so I'm super excited for that. We run a very running back, tight end centric offense with runs and passes to the running back, passes to the tight ends, slot receivers, stuff like that. It's a bad decision there by me to try to fit that ball in there with Trubisky. And then we tried to go for it here on 4th down, but unfortunately couldn't get it. So this game right here really gives me an opportunity to see what our offense can do. And like I said, I like Trubisky. He's from North Carolina, which so am I. So I root for the guy. Went to North Carolina. I just don't think he's as good as they thought he was going to be. Maybe. I don't know if there's a Bears fan out there that can tell me that. Did they think that he was going to be as good? Like, when he came out, were you excited? Were you like, oh my gosh, Mitchell Trubisky, we got our quarterback of the future? I just want to know, because he hadn't had a lot of time in North Carolina and really hadn't shown himself yet. Wasn't really on a national radar, in my opinion, and I lived here. I heard about him a little bit more, but I didn't see him as a guy that I was just like, dude, when he comes out, he's going to be a stud. The same thing with Daniel Jones, though. He played for Duke, and I didn't hear a lot about him. I was kind of like, oh, Daniel Jones. Okay. So, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. If you think Mitchell Trubisky is a good quarterback in the NFL, he obviously, since he's came into the Bears, the way I'm recording this is like I'm almost done with the NFL season right now in 2020 in real life. So, in real life, Mitchell Trubisky is came back into the starting role, and actually their offense has played better since he's got back. But I will say I think that he is not the starter that they hoped he would be. And so I don't think he's going to be the starter for our team in the future. I think after this week we will look and see what we have on our roster. If we don't feel confident in what we have on our roster, it might be time to make a move just see what's out there. I'm not saying that we've got to go out and sign a new rookie or a new big time arm. Like, I don't think we're going to be able to trade for Patrick Mahomes or, you know, a big name quarterback, but we might be able to bring somebody in that we can develop and work with, or at least see what we can do with. One guy that I really am a fan of, but he's an older guy, so I don't know if that's something we want to do, is bring in like a guy like Matt Stafford, an older guy that maybe is moving on from his team if they want to move on from him, and see what we can do. But right now, looking at the team that we have, I just don't see Mitchell Trubisky leading this team the way I want him to. And our offensive line is still going to need some work. So it might be better to put a different quarterback back there that gets the ball out of his hands really quickly, whereas I think Mitchell Trubisky is more of a downfield thrower. As again, we struggle with tight ends so hard. They're a cheat code, especially George Kittle. I mean, he's a cheat code in this game. He really is. I wish that we had that good of a tight end. As far as speed-wise, I really am excited for Cole Kmet and this whole thing. I think that he is going to be a stud tight end in the next year or so. Shoot, I've never seen a tight end win it, but what if this tight end wins Rookie of the Year? I mean, I think in real life, Travis Kelce, I don't think he won Rookie of the Year, but who knows? We'll go out here and try to win Rookie of the Year and kill it and really develop him into a stud tight end, because he can do it all. He's a blocker, he's a pass catcher, he's a route runner. I'm excited for him. Also, looking at Cordell Patterson, oh my gosh, let me try that again. Cordell Patterson. I truly think that he is going to serve better as a receiver. I think that that's his specialty. I think he's a better receiver. As we throw a pick there, he's a better receiver than he is a running back, in my opinion. He's a decent running back in a fill-in role, but I don't think he's a star receiver. So I'm thinking about moving him to receiver as well, and that might fill some slots there. I mean, we obviously have a pretty good receiving core right now with Allen Robertson, Curtis Samuel. We got rid of Anthony Miller, but we have Darnell Mooney. So we have a good receiving core right now that we want to develop and work with. That veteran presence, but also some young rookie talent. But I mean, Patterson's just so good. He's going to keep a spot on the roster just for his kick return ability, because he's really, really good at that. But I truly think that he could be moved into a different position, and get more opportunity, because with David Montgomery and whoever else I put in there, I think Hines is still on the roster as well. I'm not for certain on that. I'll have to check that. He's not going to get a lot of opportunities. So why not give him more of an opportunity at a different position to help our team and help us? As we throw a good pass there, just wasn't caught. It'll give us more of an opportunity to change some things up. I thought he called fair catch there. That's why I dodged him. I was like, I don't want to hit him and get a penalty, but obviously he didn't, so that kind of sucks. Just looking at our roster in a whole, one of the things we need to work on, I mean, obviously, as we blow that play up there, can we get him down there? Thank you. One of the things we need to work on is our defense needs a little bit more in the linebacker range and also in the corners and safeties. Our line is good and developable. Is that a word? I don't know if that's a word. We can develop our defensive line. I think we can. I truly think we can. As we get a big play here. Wow, Curtis Samuel is fast, very fast. Our defensive line has development ability. Like, I think that there's a chance that we can develop our defensive line into something that we want. Our receiving core is right where I want it to be. Besides adding Patterson to that and just seeing what we've got there, as far as maybe there's a player in the receiving core that we could move to running back to change things up a little bit. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud in ideas in my head that I can do with this team to add something there. We've got a decent defense, but we just need a little bit more. So we talked about our secondary, we talked about our Linebackers, we talked about our D-line, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. I mean, besides Komet, I think I might try to bring in a veteran tight end just to help out a little bit. You know, somebody to be the number 2 tight end, and you know, with the play where Komet takes a play off, or we have two tight end sets, I can bring somebody else in, and I actually have somebody in mind. And I don't know if I'll bring him in before the season starts, but he might be a guy that I bring in a little bit later in the season. He's an older guy. All of you will know him. He's a good player, great player. Maybe a future Hall of Famer. Not for certain. We'd have to kind of look at his stats and see. But I truly like him. I think he's a great player, and he would fit this team very, very, very well. So looking at our offense, you know, quarterback is something we're going to address. Running back, wide receiver, tight end. Our offensive line is trash. I mean, I'm not trying to be... It has good spots and it has bad spots, but for the most part, it needs work. You know, when I say I want a good offensive line, I want everybody in the high 80s. That way, when I run the ball, I've got room. When I pass the ball, I've got room. I don't feel so pressured to get the ball out as quickly as possibly can and make bad plays. The other thing I want to do with this team is, like, looking at our offense, I truly, truly believe that we're not a deep ball team. That's just not the way we need to run our offense. I think our offense is short yardage, chunk, and let the receiver make the chunk plays. We have good young corners, I think, so I'm not as worried about like their ability to stop guys and shut down those receivers. I've played a little bit of practice mode with my receivers versus my corners, and it's about 50-50. I think that our corners do a good job of covering our receivers, but then our receivers also do a good job of getting separation. But we've got good young corners. We've got a good receiving core. This team is going to be good, but not great. Like, do I think we're a playoff team? With the quarterback situation we have right now, no. I do not think that we're a playoff team. And that's probably in real life, too. I mean, if you look at the real-life Chicago Bears, probably not a playoff team. A good quarterback could really turn that team around. A good coach could really turn that team around. That's another thing we'll have to look at. We're going to keep our coach for this year, but I'm going to look in the offseason and see what we do and what it looks like on the field. Because his style of offense may not be what style of offense I like to run. So we'll look and see what we've got and who's available. I mean, see there out of the backfield, that catch, that's a wide receiver move. Like, it looks like a running back the way he hits and stuff, but he's making plays that a wide receiver would make. That's just a bad throw by us. We just got to fit the ball into better situations. Like, we can't be doing that kind of stuff. As they're just trying to run down the clock and we give up a touchdown. I don't know what I was doing there with that safety. You know, looking at this team, it's just, it shouldn't be this bad, I guess, is the way what I'm trying to get across here. It's like we're not as bad as we're playing. And that's the issue I'm having. Obviously, this is our second string, but this is a good team in the 49ers. We have to compete with these good teams in the NFC if we're going to have a chance at making it to the playoffs or making it into the Super Bowl. Because obviously, if the 49ers make it to the playoffs and so do we, there's a chance we might meet in the playoffs. And if we come out and lay a stinker like this, we don't have a chance. There's a good play there. A little bit of a juke move, get you, good bit of yardage. I don't know. I just see this team and I see a lot of potential. That's the reason I picked the Bears. I really like their offense. I really like their defense. I think that they're not a bad team. I just think they need it a little bit. And that's something I can do with trades and drafting and stuff like that. Is just kind of build a good team. I've spent a lot of time since I got Madden just really working on figuring out how to draft the proper way and get a good draft and not have to worry about that. But we just, as a team, need to be able to shut down teams and shut these and finish out these games. I mean, that's the thing. It's like we got to score points with the best of them, or we've got to hold them to where they can't score points. So after they got the first down, that's pretty much it. I don't even think I used a timeout there because I kind of knew it was over. It was just a matter of letting the team give it a, have a chance to try to come back in it, but you really knew it was over at that point. So looking at the box score, we had a good bit of passing yards. 5 turnovers is terrible, but that's where we just got to make better plays, read the defense a little bit better, and try to play a little bit stronger style of offense. Maybe switching some things up, bringing in a new quarterback or something might kind of help for this season. So we'll see. We got preseason week 4 coming up real soon. But first, we're going to look at some of the changes. I've decided that Curtis Samuel is going to be our starting running back. And a lot of people are probably going to look at that and be like, he's ran the ball some in Carolina, but he's not truly a running back. Well, yeah, no, I get that. But I think him and David Montgomery will really benefit from each other and really, really help each other. Tariq Cohen's still on the team, so if somebody gets injured, we have a good backup. And then I switched Patterson to a wide receiver, just because I think he'll do better. The quarterback I'm looking at is Drew Lock. He's young, so it's not going to take... we can develop him. He's still young enough to be developed, or he's young enough we can get rid of him if it doesn't work out. But I'm looking at him, and I'm like, he's perfect for this team. He's a young, strong-arm quarterback that can throw short. I'm going to give him a chance. I think that's the guy we're going to roll with in preseason week 4. Alright guys, if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new, give us a subscribe. It helps you keep up to date with all the stuff I'm doing, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.